Don't judge me. Welcome to Sens Nation Hockey, everybody. Steve Warren here. Just a reminder that at sensnationhockey.com, we got another episode of our podcast, brand new as of yesterday. And recording this as the Sens are getting ready for the Winnipeg Jets. It's the finale of a 3-game set. Ottawa doesn't exactly have a tough act to follow. That was a brutal effort in their 4-1 loss to the Jets on Thursday night. One of the things I was disappointed in was pretty much everything. And so tonight is the finale, and I'm looking at the game day lineup in terms of the game day skate and how things are all looking. And there's some head scratchers here. I'm not going to lie. You've got Norris, Tkachuk, and Batherson. They're all best friends. They're all roommates. They're playing well together. No reason to break that up. But everything else is a mismatch today. You've got Anisimov with Paul and Dadonov. On the team's website, that's listed just in the way they ranked them, the way they listed them. That's the second line. And I'm not sure the way that Dadonov is playing and the fact that the 13th forward in Anisimov, in the last game anyway, inserted on that line is necessarily the second line. So I looked at Nick Paul on a different line and thought immediately, yes, that guy has finally gotten a promotion because he's been one of their most consistent players. And then I saw his line mates, and I'm not sure. Meanwhile, you get Stepan, who moves off the line we just talked about. He moves on to a line with Tierney going to the left wing and Connor Brown. So a glance at that tells me, even though it's listed as the third line, I think that would be the second best line. And finally, and this one's not a head scratcher. I mean, at the end of the day, who cares what you're doing in the fourth line? But you're going to have Cedric Paquette, who's been a bit of an early season whipping boy for Sens fans. He's going to center Austin Watson on the right side, and in comes Michael Haley off the taxi squad to play the left wing. And that might be an indicator that DJ Smith is expecting trouble tonight. Things got feisty at the end of the game against Winnipeg. And DJ Smith, when you think about it, as a player, he never really backed down. He didn't mind a good scuffle. And maybe there's part of him that said, you know what, I didn't like the way that game went down. You had Beaulieu and Brady getting into it. And maybe if this game goes one way or the other, DJ Smith wants to leave a mark, leave the Jets with something to think about. Not sure. But Michael Haley, if you've never seen him play, just picture Chris Neil. He's Chris Neil. He'll fly around. He'll finish checks. He'll probably take a penalty or two. And he certainly doesn't mind chucking them. And then on defense, by the way, Tim Stützle is not in the mix. We thought maybe he'd play. They've actually placed him on injured reserve, retroactive to a week ago. So looks like he'll be eligible to come off as of tomorrow, but not playing tonight. And then as we move to the defense, you've got Shabbat with Zaitsev, Riley with Brown, and Wolanin with Goodbranson. And so Wolanin getting an opportunity again, and also some shuffling around. I don't know. Again, it's listed with Wolanin, Goodbranson in the 5-6 role. To me, that looks like the 3-4. But the biggest takeaway is that Wolanin is getting an opportunity after 3 straight games on the sideline. Also wanted to get into Colin White. He's not going to play at all again. And I've seen him in 2 games. Obviously, DJ Smith didn't like his training camp. Right out of the gate, first game, he's a healthy scratch. And he's only played in 2 of the 4 games, now 2 of the 5, because he's not going to play tonight. And honestly, the 2 games I've seen, it's hard for him to thrive, I'll grant you. Nobody thrives playing with, offensively anyway, with Watson and Paquette as their line mates, and only getting 8 minutes of ice time in the last game on Thursday. But honestly, he does not look involved. There's a reason every time I hear DJ Smith talk, he seems to be talking about a case of, okay, I want more competitiveness, more energy. And that's my impression of the player as well, a sleepiness almost to his energy level out there. And so unless he can find some fire and confidence, I'm concerned that this guy's an NHLer or not. Because he had a fine season. I think we all hang our hat on that, as did Pierre Dorion with the big contract. We all hang our hat on that 40-something point season he had a couple of years ago. But you have to take that with a grain of salt because you got to play with Mark Stone and Brady Tkachuk for most of that year. And I could take most of the guys in the lineup tonight and stick them with those 2 players and 40 points is probably in the offing for most of those guys. So who knows what's the future holds for Colin White. And finally, in case you're wondering, Saturday morning, the Jets traded star winger Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic to Columbus for Pierre-Luc Dubois and a third rounder. And you're saying to yourself right now, oh no, Dubois is going to be in the lineup against the Sens tonight. Not to worry. If there's been very few things about COVID that have had silver linings, this might be one, because Dubois will not be available. So the Sens don't have to face Laine, they don't have to face Roslovic, and they don't have to face Dubois because he has to go right into quarantine. He can't play for a minimum 7 games. It's a substantial number of games when you think about it, with a 56-game schedule. So anyway, enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Sens and the Jets, a 10 o'clock face-off. It's going to be a later game tonight. And enjoy the game. And just a reminder, SensNationHockey.com. Lots of cool stuff, all kinds of Sens articles there. And you can also listen to our latest podcast with Greg Kennedy and myself. So we'll talk to you next time here on Sens Nation Hockey.